Hello everyone, and welcome to 100 Days in Cobblemon. Day 1, we picked a water type, hold it out. For our first we have 3 major goals: to get all patches, collect the Pokemon to get level 100, and catch 3 legends. In the beginning of day 1, we spent most of the time trying to figure out what to do, and getting familiar with all of Cobblemon's stuff to do. But before that, we have to get all our tools so we can start getting Pokemon and catching them. We start off with getting wood, then go immediately to the stone tier, going straight to Stone Age in a matter of minutes. After that, we go to collect some apricorns and explore our land around us, finding some stuff. Most importantly, a ruined portal to get us some gold off the start, and most importantly, that golden apple that we found on only the first. Then finding the major stuff of this playthrough being the Poke Centers. This one was weird and glitched, but it shows us what's all there. We have our healing stations and our PCs, which we're going to be stealing from, and we have all our stuff we can buy from the Pokestops while being able to steal all the heads for some decoration. Later, we got into our first battle with a Patterat, easily defeating it in a couple turns, taking no damage. Later, we started fighting more Patterats at night. Then we went straight to a ravine I found earlier, just finding anything that we can. Finding mostly iron as our main resource, getting around a stack and a half. We found some more iron, but more importantly, for this video, we have Vein Mounder on, just to make it a little bit quicker so we don't have to spend so much time in the mine, and getting more of the Cobblemon experience into it. It immediately smelting it down in the mines just in case we run into any diamonds or other stuff, so we can mine it up and just go quicker and quicker. Then finding a Spiritomb that we couldn't catch because we had no Pokeballs, which was a pain, but we'll get through it and try to find some more. We climb up here to look at this chest, and for some reason there's nothing in it, so we just leave this area and continue on with our adventure. Until we went to buy some Pokeballs, so we want to get in that situation that we got in during day 1. We learned from our mistakes. We got ourselves around 3 to 5 Pokeballs, and immediately getting our first Pokemon, Storager. Catching it with the first Pokeball. This Storager is going to be a major part of the early part of this game, but he will not last longer than probably an hour. Immediately after this, a Moltres spawned right near us, so we try to get some Pokeballs to catch it, getting our Dusk Balls, which would be our greatest hope, and some more. Then we go immediately to go. The Moltres immediately took out our Storager, so we have no other choice but to try to catch it with anything we got. We started with our Dusk Balls, but that didn't help, so we had to throw up our Totodile to have a chance. We were not able to make most of the situation, losing the Moltres immediately. But we just put that behind us and started searching again, finding another thing and taking the most that we can. Coming out of this situation with 3 gold blocks and some green apricorns right behind us. These apricorns are able to be used for some Pokeballs. I'm not sure if any of them are good, but I'm pretty sure they're able to create the Dusk Ball. So we're gonna have to get the sapling for that. But most importantly, before we're gonna try to get all the saplings for all the apricorns and plant them right in our base. We found our first new Cobblemon structure, being this new pillar, having the gold things. Not sure what they are, but we might end up being able to complete one during this part of the video. But who knows? Going straight to fight the Gumighoul. We try to catch it, but end up killing it on accident. That's a pain, but we might get one later. I'm not sure. It just depends what happens. Later on in day 3, we get our third Pokemon, being a Joltik. This is going to be one of the main ones we have. And good thing is, we have the perfect stuff to get it, and we got it in a matter of quickly putting it on my shoulder, but then remembering that the boosts got taken out in the latest update to be re-added later. So that was a disappointment, but we figured it out. Day 4, we got our first pizza armor from this village. That's not exactly useful, but we have it now. So we're gonna keep exploring. We found this weird thing. Not exactly sure what it is, but it might have to do something with all the new fossil Pokemon. I didn't find any of those that gravel, but at the same time I didn't have any of the brushes, so it doesn't really matter. We immediately find some of this sand, using our brush to find anything from it. Mostly getting the Gimmighoul stuff and some like all junk, honestly. Some putter shards, but mostly stuff we leave behind in a couple days. Day 5, we get our first taste of success, finding a Xerneas in the middle of this forest. We didn't think we were gonna catch it, but actually you can just see. It's better enough to make it more reasonable, but mostly we ended up trying to fight it first, trying to get it paralyzed. That didn't exactly work because our highest Pokemon is level 24. So we just keep going at it, just throwing anything we got at it. But luckily, we've been collecting apricorns on our whole way here, so we have a fair amount of Pokeballs on our side. We lose our Joltik immediately, but we go for Sturgeon, a bit more bulky and more on the level side. But we get so close on this time, it's not working, but we don't give up. We ended up making more Pokeballs, and we keep throwing at them. Good thing is we made a backpack earlier. Sadly, I lost the footage, so that was a pain. Apparently I don't know how to open OBS, but we still have the stuff on us. So we started making all the different types of Pokeballs. I tried to make Great Balls. I didn't know how, but I ended up needing iron instead of copper. So we did that, all our Pokemon died, so we resorted to throwing random Pokeballs we can find at it. And this actually became pretty useful, and in the last couple ones, we clutched stuff, and it actually almost died in this tree, but we were able to cut them all down, which that would have sucked if we lost it that way. But we're starting to run out of Great Balls, so we start throwing anything at it. We go ball for ball, and most importantly, catching it. And I think our last Great Ball. But yeah, our last Great Ball, which was a big pro. We did make some balls that we didn't use, but we got that now. We put it in the PC so it doesn't break our team, and we have more consistent. Day 6 was spent upgrading our backpack. With our adventure, we ended up very light on space, so this is a good part of it. And later, we ended up putting a crafting module on it so we can craft on the way here without having to hold a bench, giving us even more room that we didn't know we had. Day 6, we hit the jackpot in this new town we found. Ended up giving 6 diamonds, a whole lot of Pokeballs, and most importantly, those XP candies that will improve our team exponentially and help us reach that level 100 that we strive for. The rest of day 6 and the beginning of day 7 was used to get our Totodile up to a Crocodile, which we successfully did, getting our first evolution of the episode. This is just the start of it, and there will be very much more. Later, we found our first fossil thing, immediately finding a amber fossil to get our first fossil Pokemon, this one being Aerodactyl. You can see here, we found this weird new city, which I'm not exactly sure what I can find here, but we might do something with it. It's a good place to just stop and rest, but that's mostly about it. I ended up finding this archery thing, but I don't think it does. The one thing that came out of it was a Dreepy we found in the graveyard. We ended up catching it in our like third Pokeball, but this thing is gonna be a long haul, but it's gonna end up being good, and it be a main part of our main team. I ended up finding a bundle in here, which I didn't know was in this mod pack, but it's useful, and it helped us to get all the loose junk in here. It just took me a while to figure out how, but that's all the town gave us. We found this thing, but we ended up losing all of day 8, which was a montage of us getting all the way up to Feraligatr, which is a pain, but we'll get through it. So, update: we have our fur alligator. We have him up to level 30, which it was a big montage, but it got corrupted. I'm gonna try not to let this happen in the future, but we'll get through it, and most importantly, we can make it. Now that we have our crocodile, we can use it to swim across this ocean to hopefully. No, it's a fur alligator. We swim across this ocean to hopefully find some new land and a place to call home. With this ability, we ended up finding a couple diamonds down there, which was useful, but that's how we end our first 10 days. And we go directly into day 11 through 20. Through this, we just spend at a time doing more and more what we're doing, but most importantly, we we find our new place and make it home. After we got more Pokeballs, I went straight to go get my stuff back from when I drowned earlier and the fossil thing. So we did that real quick. The problem is I got stuck with my fur alligator down here and I couldn't find the way out again, so that set us back a little bit, but we ended up getting everything, so it was all fine. We continued to search around looking for any place to stay, not finding much, but we do find this city with an airplane in it. It did have a couple Pokeballs, but that's about it. We don't have a lot of room for anything, so we need to find that place quick. So we're gonna try to do that, and the main things are just gonna be Pokeballs and anything that will help us level up. The plane, it was a pain to get into, but the main stuff it had was again Pokeballs, and I think it had some stuff to level up. The bundle went in handy with this, being able to put most of the stuff in here, which is the main reason we took it. But let's see, we got some slate balls, luxury balls, and the green balls. Those luxury balls would have been useful later when I was doing friendship stuff, but we didn't have it during then. Near their city was a haunted house, it having more Pokeballs, and most importantly, it just had a lot of ghost Pokemon. We didn't pick any of them up, but it's a good thing to go back if we ever need any. There's hidden chests. I couldn't really find any, but I did end up finding one. Out in the mountains, we found a different type of city. Not sure which one it's supposed to be, but it did have a couple Pokeballs for us to take, which was useful. And if we ever need villagers, we can just go around here. To speed up our traveling, we ended up catching a hunch crow so we can fly around. It took a little bit, but we ended up getting it without any problem. We immediately set flying, finding this magma-like place where we settle down. This area needs a couple of bits of patching up. For example, it has coarse dirt everywhere. I want to get some actual grass in here, so that'll be useful. And we just put all our stuff right here. We're gonna clear this all out and starting to put in some foundations around us. We ended up cutting down some trees around us using the cutty thing I got. Don't know what it's called, but I'll try. Then we used all this wood to craft a lot of chests so we can actually store all our stuff we collected from our adventures. To hold our Pokeballs, I made a chest upgrade because on all the way there we just ran out of space. So this should be useful. And we're just gonna put it in the middle so we can have it anytime. It's not a very difficult recipe, just some copper. And we can continue to level it up as we go. Because we were already halfway done. And that's not even all the Pokeballs we have on us right now. We go back to mining to get some resources to build up our base, getting mostly iron, but also focusing on some redstone and gold so we can get a Pokedex to track how much Pokemon we get, just so we can know and see if we can find anything different. The gold, it wasn't really a pain to find, but the caves were lackluster at best, so that caused it to push it back a little bit. With all this, we ended up getting our first Pokédex made, which was useful. I couldn't figure out how to open it, so the only way I know how to open it is to click on a Pokemon, which does kind of mess up because it puts me on its back. But we have a list of Pokemon we can find and where to find it, which is useful. But we just take a break and start catching anything we can, starting off with a Starly. For soon, we're just going to be catching everything around us. It's not really interesting Pokemon, but it's good to have in the Pokedex. We we struggle with the Starly, which was weird because everything's a higher level than it, but that doesn't really matter. We just go right past that and catch uh, a fox thing. Not sure what it is, but we have it now. At the same time, we try to catch a Zigzagoon just because it was there mostly. So, but we do get an achievement full house for having 6 Pokemon with us. We give up on the Zigzagoon. I don't know why. I just must got bored and we went straight for the Teddiursa that could actually join the team. Cause recently it had got a new form like 2-3 years ago, which is useful. And I'm not quite sure if the Blood Moon form is in this, so that will affect if it's ever gonna show up on our team or not. But overall, it's probably gonna sit in that box. But if we need a normal type, it's a good addition. Our next Pokemon actually was quite rare, being a Scorbunny. Starters aren't usually easy to find, so I didn't want to hit it because I was afraid I was gonna knock it out, which did cause us to catch it a lot less quick. But never mind, we caught it with a quick ball. Forgot about that. But that's probably gonna just sit in the decks. But let's just evolve it one quick time just to get the dex entry. Goal is to get all the apricorns so we can get so we can just start making Pokeballs quickly and easy and have them all laid out in a farm-like status, like a pecan farm usually is in real life. To make this better, we're going to need a quicker flying Pokemon and a lot of wood so we can make more chests to hold these in, but we also need to cut down these trees so we can have room for our new farm. It's not going to be anything fancy, but it will hold it, and it will make us getting a lot easier. We're going to use wool just to mark it out again, making it easier. But this might have to change and stretch out. It's all just a process right here. The only one we're really missing is the black apricorn, which is the one that we need the most, and it's the most painful one to get. So that's exactly what we're gonna go out and do. We're gonna catch a Talonflame to make it a lot easier and be our main flying Pokemon for most of the playthrough. But if we have anything better, it's gonna easy replace it. Maybe the Troopy. Again, we find some black apricorns. We didn't get a sapling, but we just kind of go look around and find it. We immediately find our Talonflame. We get it down to 4 HP, then we catch it and no problem. Next couple days, it's just gonna be flying around looking for black apricorns, and we should get it done by the end of day 20. It takes a while, mostly because it's hard to tell which one is which, and black is the rarest one. But we should get it done in like just a little bit. Again, we just find this. We get unlucky, but we're starting to get a lot of apricorns to do that. We get our around day 19 we get it, and we plant it in, and we have our first row of apricorns. This is gonna stretch all the way back, and we're gonna keep digging them out to make more and more. But first, let's make a path just to make this place more homey, more just alike. Day 21 to 30, we'll be mostly building. We get some Pokemon, and most importantly, you're gonna have to wait to find out. We start out these days with a new chest room. I wanted to make it open because I don't really like building big builds, and doing stuff outside just gives me actually to use them. First, we're gonna make an actual floor to just section it off better with some stone slabs and some grading. Alright, we finally go into the nether. We're gonna put it right here. We might make something for it later, but that's for another time. We have enough to sit in for that, but we're gonna have to go back to get some for an enchanting table, which is a pain. And let's see where we start off. It's a soul valley, which it could be worse. We're on like a cliff, so we're gonna have to be careful. But there's a bastion over there that we should head to right now. But first, let's see what Pokemon is in the Nether. That's the main reason I went here. The first one we find is a Cubone. It's a decent level, so we're just gonna use it to train up for Alligator. Try to get a good water move, because right now all he has is water gun. Not sure when that's gonna get better, but hopefully it does very soon. Now let's get straight into this Bastion. I'm not sure which type this is and where to find it, so we're just gonna be looking around. The piglins aren't gonna be aggressive because we're doing this on peaceful, just because we're just trying to focus on the Cobblemon mostly. And I'm just gonna mine and find our first chest now. One thing I do notice about these chests, there's a lot of that armor, which is, I guess is good, but it, we get full of it real quickly. But we do get some more iron, some more other stuff. Mostly it's good, but it does fill up real quick. We get to see another one of those armors and some more gold, which we can just use for more Pokeballs, which is useful. And we're gonna look around and see if we find anything else. I'm not sure if we do, but that's gonna be most of our Nether adventures for right now. We are gonna be in and out of the Nether for the rest of the video. There's gonna be some long parts in it. Again, we find another piece of those armors, which is weird. It's only one of the armors, it's not both of them. I'm not sure where the other set is, but that's the same chest. Not very useful. So let's go right back and make ourselves some new Pokeballs. We couldn't figure out how to make Ultra Balls. That cause we need gold for that. Which good thing is we did just go to the Bastion and get all that gold. We stack up on Pokeballs, getting a good amount of Ultra Balls and Great Balls, because we're about to go looking around to see if there's anything interesting around us. And we don't want to be in the situation that we find like a shiny or a legendary and just have have us tucked in our legs. The first thing we find is this weird hut. It didn't have much useful. I'm guessing it's from the tectonic data pack, which it is good that it's around here just just for some content, and it mostly has nothing, but it does have some diamond ore, which it is useful. Next thing we find is some gimmickle coins. It's kind of useful, but we don't have a gimmickle, so that's a bit iffy. We got a smithing template, which we don't use, but we have one now. So we're just gonna keep adventuring, see if we can find any more of that, and seeing if we can get any different type of fossil Pokemon. The next thing we found is an igloo. It's not necessarily useful in the game or even here. So we just go down, see if there's anything new, like any Pokeballs, and then we immediately leave it. Around this one, there was a cherry grove. We don't do much with it, but it's there so we can go here if we ever need like the cherry stuff, which is a pro. Next, we find some we find this water city. I'm not sure from what episode it's from in the anime, but it's from something. It's the Cobble Towns mod. It's an add-on, but same thing really. We get some more Pokeballs from it. We get some Vivid Choke Seeds. I might get all of those. I just not quite sure how. Again, more Great Balls, which hopefully come in handy soon. These cities were actually pretty abundant in the water for some reason. I'm not sure where they were earlier, but they're here now, and they're a good source of Pokeballs and anything and everything. If we ever need like chests, I guess this would also be a good place to get it. And it does have the Poke Center, so we can take the stuff from there if we're ever in a rush. Right now, it's time to spruce this thing up. No pun intended. Let's just make a little frame, which is one of the things we can do. This is just a start of it. Next, we're gonna have like some fences going down to make it look like it's supported, but we can just spruce it up. Oh man, not that again. We just do that. And just to make it more human made. First, we have to get all this calcite out of here because it's just in our way and it doesn't really match with anything. Now we got that, we can go back to catching random stuff. And right there, the fur alligator was in our way, so that was a pain. But we get our first Rookity, which we can evolve pretty easy. It's already level 25, so it's about most of the way there. So if we ever need a Rookity, we have it. This was a pain, but we ended up getting it and putting it in our Cobble decks. I tried to get this rock thing, but I couldn't. I get a Cetadile, which it might be something. It's an ice type. It would be good against a dragon type leader, which we can just have that in our back pocket. Get another thing in our back pocket with its Natu. We got the Natu, not the big one, but the tiny one, which it should be able to evolve. Yeah, see, it just evolved from that. So we end up doing that, and we get that line out of the way real easy. So we just put them all back in the in the PC and go straight back to mining to find an amethyst. We need this to get some XP shares so we can start training up our team more. Because Dreepy is starting to lag behind. He is very hard to train with because he's just not very good quite yet. Again, it's an XP sync, so it's going to be a while before he can battle on his own. This adventure was very rich on biomes, and we did get a good amount of diamonds and this stone. I just kept getting it. It's a dawn stone. I'm dusk. I'm not sure if we're ever going to use it, but we have it, and we throw it in our Cobblemon chest. We're going to need to expand that very soon because we're getting full. And we got another diamond. Diamonds were real easy to find, and we come out with at least 15 around here. Though the one hard thing to find was the amethyst, so the thing we needed. So that was a pain. Then we fall in the lava trying to find it, which set us back a couple days. This would have been only in one day if we never did that. So we have to rebound and hopefully trying to get a little bit of our stuff back. Probably not, but it's mostly restarting. So let's try to get some of it back. But most importantly, let's just fly in the caves, get some of this stuff. This actually is pretty useful. Those rare candies will be good when we get to like level 98, 99s. So we can get that. And let's just get this amethyst out of the way so we can start training up. The next cave we found was, it was weird. It was like right under this mountain. It looked like it wasn't even supposed to be here. But the good thing is, We could use the mini map to locate the amethyst easy. And we get in there, get around 10, then head right out. We find this in an off cove. We have to be careful because those cobwebs could knock us off, making this a lot more painful. See, we have to avoid that. We find our amethyst just like this. We There wasn't a lot fully budded, but we do climb up, get around 8, which is useful. And we're gonna put it on our Joltik. And later on, we're gonna get more to put on more stuff. The Dreepy is the one that needs it the most right now, but that's it. Later on in the video, they're gonna stop getting levels. That's when the trainers come in, and when we start moving on to that, that's mostly gonna be in the next one. But if you ever see it happening, that is the reason why. But right now, let's try to get the most levels we can, and let's get right out of this and give Joltich its XP share, so we can get evolved into a Galvantula. I think that's how to say it. And let's get this done right now. Next, we have to get some deep slate so we can start getting uh our fossil Pokemon in. The first one we're gonna get is Aerodactyl because we have that. We haven't found another one, but we do have, I think, 2 Aerodactyl ones for some reason. So let's just do it. We make the fossil analyzer. We just throw it over here. It's a good place to put it. And for right now, that's all we really need. We don't need like a place for it. We get the old amber fossil, but I failed to do my research and I don't know how to do this. So we have to get 2 more parts and put it a specific way. Wait, but first, we go over here to get the revive to make the tank for it, which is is it was a pain to get, but we get the monitor and the tank. We try to make it a different way, but in uh the monitor needs to be on top of the restoration tank. That's what we didn't know, and that's why it didn't work. Okay, a lesson here is it also needs like organic stuff to start. So the best thing to use is leaves, but you can also use other stuff. It takes a lot of it, but you can just get it from trees. Anywhere around you have leaves unless you're in like a desert. So that's the best thing to do with it. It takes around like a stack. You can see here I got way too much, but it it starts getting it starts filling up a lot quicker than it was, and you can tell when it's working because it has like a red glow. As you can see here, it takes a couple seconds, but we got it. Now it's the now it's the quick lesson because it was a pain to find out how to do this. So spread that on. Now we ended up catching a Rowlet. This is actually a good. It could be a good part of our team. We electrocute it so we can get it a little bit down, and we catch it right now and get on our team real quickly. First, we gotta evolve this Rowlet, which it has the middle evolution, which is never the best, but it's there. These Verdet balls look the best with it, so we try to catch it with that. Successfully doing it in the second one. So we got that on our team. We evolve it, and next we're gonna go try to catch a Ditto so we can start breeding with it. We have to have a side mod for that, which I didn't know, but it's just cobble breeding. Later on, it will be in the actual game. So that's a pro. But right now, we're just going to do that so we have some content for the video. That's a problem with Cobblemon. A lot of it is not done yet. Our Aerodactyl is doing good in the tank. And we find our first Ditto real quickly. Be able to catch it in just a couple Pokeballs. This was near the end of our little adventure. And we start pretty sure we get the ranch real soon. That's what we need for cobble breeding. And that's what I'm expecting it when they bring in breeding. That's what they're gonna do. Again, catching. It's 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 gonna get repetitive, but it's something we need to do. Oh, in the goals, it said to defeat all 8 gym leaders. That is a that's something for next episode, because this is starting to go long, so we have to split it apart so it won't be like 2 hours long, just to make it more watchable. Page 31 to 40, we're gonna have a lot of nether action. We're gonna get set up for a little mid thing in day 41 to 50, and most importantly, again, you have to wait to find out. Starting off day 30, we go into the nether, because right now we're going to look for another fortress so we can get some blaze powder and some ender pearls. But first, we find another bastion. We get a good amount of stuff. Again, getting mostly useless things. More of that armor that we're never gonna use. But we have it. We have about 5 pieces. But most importantly, we do we do get a we do get a new music disc. But now we get that soul speed too. And I'm not sure if we got this under camera, but we got a uh netherite upgrade. I think that's on camera. I'm not quite sure. I'm just gonna tell you just in case it's not. So if you don't see it, we have it. We're only gonna go for a couple uh of bastions, cause the most thing they have for us right now is the gold. The longer we're in here, the less time we have for the other stuff. So soon we're just gonna have to start skipping them, cause I'm not sure where they are. So I'm just gonna take another look around here, see if we find anything useful. It would be a lot better if I knew where the chests are, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna bother to do that. And and we can just take a little more time to look around. Around here, there's not much good stuff. We found another chest, more ancient debris. Right now, we have like 1 piece, which is good. We can use it on something. We this was part of a mod that we actually had to take out. It just was not working, so it was like it was Cobble Legends, something like that. I'm not sure if exact name. We replaced it with something else where where they mostly just spawn like Pixelmon, but that's mostly it. They do spawn a good amount. I don't get a lot of it on camera just because I'm stupid and don't know how to open OBS. So that does happen. We failed to find the Nether Fortress, but we're gonna look again. Rotic was actually real close to evolving. We just had to get like 5 levels. So now it's evolved. It can actually stand for himself. And we can ride it. With this mod, you can ride anything. But the problem is, it's just so fast. Now we have our Joltik. We can move on. Back to the Nether, like usual. So let's find this Nether fortress the fastest we can. The one awesome thing is we need some blue stuff. We try to see if we can kill some Magaby to get the blaze powder, but I ended up giving up and just changing the difficulty to around to just like normal so we can get the blaze powder so we can actually move on. Because the magma is like a 5% chance of the blaze powder. It's gonna be day 70 by the time we get all the ones we need. But we find our first warped place. I'm not sure we find this one again, but this one is very large, so it will be useful. We find our first nether fortress. This one being relatively terrible. It is NA. It's it's like it's forced right here. It's like in the middle of a but Delta Basalt, which I'm not sure it's happened. It has some of those that Pokemon that we keep getting the stuff to evolve from. We don't catch one, but we do ended up killing that. We find that we're gonna go we're gonna go get some stuff to get ready and defeat some Blaze. But first we need the iron to actually do that fully. But we're gonna take a pause from doing that, and our main goal right now is to get all the mint seeds. We there's around 7, and we have around 3 near us. The most difficult ones are gonna be the blue and cyan ones. It takes a couple days for us to find it, and we're gonna grow it near our apricorn farm just so we can change our behaviors to some of our Pokemon, making them better and honestly giving us something to do. We have 3 seeds and 4 other stuff. We find the blue ones around the spruce. This one was the second to last. It took us a lot longer to find it. All the footage just isn't in there. Then we get the cyan one a little bit quicker. Now that we got that, we can go home and start planting them. It's just gonna be right in front of the apricorns. It's not gonna look the best for right now, but it's gonna work. We don't need very much, so we can only plant like 2. The we can put some other stuff. Next, we find some we find some more stuff. Just getting like roots. Yeah, we didn't get very much from this one, but it wasn't bad. It's not too far from the house. I'm guessing the best we're gonna get is some roots. I know for a fact we don't get more. What is that? It's a feather. Not sure what that is used for, but we have a feather now. That's something. It's definitely a feather. So, I'm not sure how useful these things are. I usually dig them. I'm not sure why I haven't found any other type of fossil in them. It's probably just bad luck. Let's just put that behind us because now we have some roots just to feed them. I'm pretty sure they hate the roots though, so that's a problem. So after this, we're gonna start building up our base, start putting some more stuff around there. First, we need to put these paths over here just to like add it in. We're gonna shift it facing us. For some reason, I did it odd, even though it's an even thing we have to do, which was a pain. This is getting near when we started using all the fences. I didn't record that, so it's not in here. This one, it's like my idea was the fences were start down and go up and connect it. The good thing is we can use slabs and put torches under it so we can we do that so we get some light in here without it being an eyesore. So now that we got that, I'm gonna do the slower stuff off camera and see what we do. One thing I want to do is get rid of all this coarse dirt. It's just starting to look ugly and not very good. We got the blaze rods. Again, I didn't open OBS. That's a big problem in this. Just me being stupid. And this is where the nether upgrade also came in that I was talking about earlier. But now we're gonna go and get those ender pearls that we need. We're gonna need like 12, 15 would be the good number, but we got 12, which ended up biting us in the butt later. But let's act like that never happened. For this one, I didn't think about putting them in boats because I'm used to bedrock edition where that didn't work. But now it does. So it becomes painful. We get our first Enderman real soon right here. It wasn't very difficult because we got this sword. It just helps us a little bit. And we get our first Ender Pearl in just a couple minutes. It was pretty useful. You can see here how long this took. It took 5 days, which was a big chunk of it, but Endermen are just a real pain to deal with. I know later on when we have like 9, we end up dying, but that was real close to our portal, so we got that dealt with. These wart forests are they're not difficult to go through. Just everything looks the same, so it's a pain to look around. One thing I did figure out how to do is use the mini map to find Enderman, which isn't something you can usually do, but for this, I'm gonna let it slide. Just I didn't want to spend all the time just trying to get Enderman again, and the count of days we're not that far into it, but this is just one part of it. There is 2 methods that we usually use. One is hiding in a wall. It is kind of useful. It's uh it is very you have to do it every single time, and you either have to sit there waiting for them to spawn around you or just keep digging in the walls. It hurts your durability, and your pickaxe will die very soon. But the other method is building the roof above you. That I don't really use that in this playthrough, but the main thing I use is my talent flame. I fly above it and try to hit the enderman below me because they cannot hit me when I'm above here. I use that to my advantage any way that I can, and it gets me my rest of my pearls. The main problem is you can't see below you, so you can't really tell where the endermen are. A good amount of endermen got stuck in this crevice, and it was we get one down. We weren't that lucky with drops, so we had to kill a buttload of endermen to get all the pearls. This isn't the last you're gonna see of the wart forest. There's a little segment later on where we're about to go to the end. We'll run out of pearls because we didn't get enough on this one. But that one's a lot quicker because I remember the boats. This would have been a lot quicker with boats. But let's just put that behind us and finish off all this Enderman action. While we knock out these Endermen, we can talk about the ideas for part 2 because there's definitely going to have to be one. And if not, this this would be like 2 hours long, so just to separate that so we can actually get it out on time. So, for the first part, we're going to start getting more badges. At the end of this, we started fighting Brock. You can see here our levels are getting kind of up there. That is because we didn't put the trainer mod in here. I learned about it midway through, so I decided to add that and make it a big part of part 2. It's still up in the air how long that will take, but that's part of it, and the rest of it you're just gonna have to watch it and see. Later on, we're gonna. I have one Pokemon I know I wanted to add to my team. All I can tell you is it spawns in the end, and it can kill itself. So that's all your clues. Now, let's just go back to talking about Enderman. They were really a pain. They like to teleport a lot. I'm not really saying much. I'm just listing out facts about them. They're like me saying they're 2 meters tall, which is pretty useless. But now we're on 8. We're very close to finishing this. Actually, I try to make some boats, But you can't make boats out of the wood here, which I didn't know about that. It's a little fact. Over here, it's a big, there's a lot of Endermen. This must be where they all were. I'm not sure what they're all doing over here, but it did help me get my last few ones. And one of these Endermen actually did kill me, which set us back a good amount. So that happened. Around we need four more. We actually end up needing three more, but we don't have to worry about that right now. So that just keep fighting these. Also, another thing I forgot to record is we got our Aerodactyl right here. We're starting to level it up so we can use it as a different flyer and just be part of the team. Right now it's level 20, so it has a fair amount to go. So we're gonna have to wait for that to actually be useful. And we're not gonna do any training anytime soon, so it's just gonna start moving around as it does that. Alright. These Endermen, they there's so much I couldn't really even focus on one, so you can see here they're starting to fall down like flies. Again, we got on the ground. The bad thing about that mod is the Pokemon when they get on the ground they like fly. It makes no sense. But the other one, you just it's a pain and it barely even works. So it's it's around a pain. So we got to do that. This is where we actually ended up dying. One of these Endermen killed us while we were trying to get the other Enderman's loot. That happened, but we pushed through, and the rest of this was way better than 833 to 38. This one was a pain, and we were here for like 3 hours just killing Enderman. But now we're done. Just a little segment of this video, which it wasn't this long, but it has to be. Soon, there's definitely easier ways for us to do this. I should have done it an easier way, but we can learn about that next time. We see that 12th one right there. We get greedy. We jump off and try to get it. And that's when these Endermen start to jump us and kill us. Which did happen. I'm not sure if I got it on camera. But that's a pain. Oh, one thing to talk about is you can see where it goes, the footage goes full, then it shrinks. That is mostly because I'm have to do this on a laptop, then on a screen, so it's gonna change. That's just a way to make it more even. So just to explain that, we thought we had them all dead, so we went down and take that. This is where they get us. It was a pain, but we got it. You can see here, we try to fight Brock. We did not know how to. We got a name tag. I know I wanted that for something. I'm not sure if that was this one, but we went in the name tag. This this city, it what we found it. They're starting to become more useless and useless. So we're just gonna start avoiding them. We get some wheat so we can make a pasture block. This was before we added the Cobblemon mod. So this actually ended up, it seemed useless, but it wasn't useless when we started fighting the bosses because it has a level cap. We passed that level cap way long ago, like on episode 10. So now with that got a pasture block, we can throw our Ditto in there and any other one we want. We start off with Feraligatr to get a couple Toadal. Actually, we take that Dreepy out real soon. You can see. I'm not sure why I even put it in there, but it's useful. It just makes it walk around. It would be cool if the more you walked around, the more it like leveled up in the game. but it doesn't. That's an idea they can add. They can take that. It's free of charge, and we just set that up. The one problem is where we are. There's not a lot of sand around us, so we have to go in like the rivers. We have to fly somewhere. So next time we make a next time we make a area, we should add that. Another problem was with a lot of mods, the crafting starts to some of it overlaps, which is a pain. We finally get a new backpack after down in that lava. It took a while, but we got a new one. This one doesn't have the upgrades, but it's a new backpack. Hooray! So that was the end of day 40, and we go right into day 41 to 50. This one is a lot of more. This one is all about battling and other stuff. Of course, you have to wait to find out. Let's get right into it. So, first off, we gotta make all our blaze powder and combine it with our ender eyes. We're not gonna make all right now, so we have a couple left while we're there. So we have to go this way, and I'll be back when we're close to it. Hopefully, it shouldn't take too long. But first, I gotta cut down this tree because my ender eye got stuck. We're gonna go this way on our Aerodactyl and continue to look if we're even close to it. Hopefully, we are, and we can continue on with this. All of this is the next 6 days are gonna be all our end adventures, and hopefully, we end up out here on top and not in pieces like it, our other adventures has ended. So let's just try our best. All right. So we're definitely getting closer. We're not too far away. So I'm gonna skip to one we know where we're at. So it's somewhere around here. We're gonna start digging down to see if we crack in anything. So probably if I had to guess, it's in the middle of that water. So let's just go for that. We go in the cave first to see if we can find any lucky openings, which we don't. So we make ourselves a little pickaxe, start mining our way through, and just continue on this weird cave. You can't see much because we're in the middle of a cave, but we found this. We had to walk right past those diamonds. We just have a stone pickaxe, so let's just hope we find the main part quick enough. So we definitely do not have enough eyes because the most we get out one time is like 3. So, and this time we got 1. So that's a pain, and we're gonna have to dig our way up to get more. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna find our way back in the Nether very soon. But we gotta find this thing first. We end up getting lost a couple times, but soon we're gonna find this. I'm gonna start breaking down these doors to make sure I don't go in them again. That's so we don't get lost a lot. So that might help. I'm gonna start digging around and see if we can find this end portal. And we find it immediately. It has 1 eye in it, but we only have around. We actually lost that one. So we need 3 more eyes, which was a pain. I try to look around the net here, but there's nothing in here. So we have to make our way out. But some good stuff is we found a munchlax on our way up, which we catch and add to our party. Alright, this munchlax, we're finna get it. It's gonna join our party. And we got it in this Pokeball. Off camera, I went back to the Nether, and I got our 3 end portals. Yeah, same thing. So we don't have to do that again, and we can luckily go out and jump right into the end right now. It's gonna be one of the easier end fights, mostly because we can fly. So we're just gonna go out, take all the end eyes out, then do that. The problem, the good thing we can fly because we spawned with nothing connected to it. So if we couldn't do this, we'd be screwed right when we started. Another thing is, I'm not sure why I couldn't get it, but we managed to do that. A lot, a lot of this is just easy, and it was just either us getting bored, so we try to do it quicker, and getting knocked out, or just something else. A quicker thing I could have done. Yeah, that was one part of it. That happened, so we had to come back from that. So we did that. Uh, The two main problems I faced was getting knocked off my flyer, or number two, it was the dragon never perched, so it's just a lot of waiting. The fight wasn't very eventful. It was just me down a lot. I brought Xerneas just in case all my other Pokemon died, so I could get the one Pokemon here I was looking for and not having to worry about it. That's the main reason I have all those Pokeballs. Because this one I was talking about earlier, it it is a pain to catch, having one of the lowest catch rates in the game. And another clue for you, it is gray. Good thing we brought the diamond sword so we can actually fight this, because there has been multiple times where I just forgotten, and I had to hit him with anything I had. One more clue, it is a rare spawn. So keep that in mind, and let's just go right back to fighting this Ender Dragon. After like 10 minutes of just watching the Ender Dragon just fly around like right there, we get so close to killing it. We just have to wait and wait. And it starts to perch right here. Next time it perches, it's done for. The problem is, you can see, it just does not perch. This fight would have been 10 times quicker, but now we can get the last finishing blows on it, and of course, it flies away. You see that cut right there? Now it's because I tried to chase it and I died. So that's why you don't chase it. So now it's doing that. We can finally get the last hit on it. If we can reach, we get the last couple hits, we get out of the way, and we defeat the Ender Dragon on like day 45. Pretty good pace, pretty good pace. So let's get this XP and make our way to the next end city. We're not the luckiest, so it took a while, but we made our way in. Now we're gonna keep looking around. This is way easier again because we can fly. That's being one of the main themes about all of this, is that we can fly, but that didn't really even speed it up. We found the first one right here. It actually had, I'm thinking, no loot rooms. They might have had one, I'm not quite sure, but nothing useful. No Elytra, no nothing, no Pokemon. But at least we got the achievement. That's something. We can we try to get some shulker shells right here. We can. I forgot about we actually had different animations on. We just haven't even seen any other stuff. So now we just go on to the next one. Finally, it was a Beldum. That's what we're looking for. And we try our best to catch it quickly, but this thing just has the worst catch rate ever. It took a while, and we had to be careful because we killed the first one, and we had to go find another one. This one being a level above, which is useful, and we finally get it. You can see here we're all out of gray balls, and we're almost out of ultra balls. So it got burned by our talent fame. So right now it's now or never. If we don't get it, we might never get it. But luckily, we get in this ball right here, and it gets sent straight to our PC. So now we have one goal, and that goal is just to get good armor and get ourselves our Elytra and get back home before day 50. So in our first chest, we actually get most of our armor that we need. So that's pretty good. That was about all we had for the first end city. So we just flew right away and went to go get the next one, which we did right now. We find our way in here and we try to fly into anything we find. One thing I did notice is that the ones with the chest are usually have a way to get up from the upside. That's useful. And I started putting logs on top of ones I already did, which was pretty useful, so we did that. This one wasn't really good, but we just go through here, see how much we can get, and just keep going. All the loot rooms are basically the same, so I won't show them all. I'll just show them the highlights. On our fourth end city, we ended up finding our ship, which we're around 8,000 blocks away from the place, which that was painful, but we made it. So we went straight into here. We it didn't have any other loot. We got a jade orb, which we can actually use to get a Rayquaza in the next episode. That can that's just a little peek what we're gonna do. So now we found this. It makes us way quicker and quicker. But first, we can actually try to get the we can try to get the dragon head. I'm not gonna build anything under it because I get bored. So I'm gonna see if I get lucky and get it. And the truth is we did not. It flew right off, so that happened. It doesn't really matter. But we didn't get the dragon head. Such a shame. I don't know how we're gonna live without this. The whole video is ruined. But that happened. So we ended up just cutting it off at that, and going it, and finally making our way back. But not forgetting to get the end, but not forgetting the egg here, which we actually get real quickly. The problem is I didn't want it to spawn in the portal because our place is not near the portal. We get the egg, we jump in the portal, and we're done with the end for right now. We already got most around here. We actually got our first egg from the pasture block, and that hatches every 10 minutes, so that's useful. So yeah, we look around, we got our first Toadal. This Toadal is going to be used for gym battles. This is a little sneak peek of next episode. Right now, we're gonna train up our Toadal to level 18 so we can fight Brock. He has around 6 Pokemon, they all do. And you have to have a real good team to even compete with them. So we're gonna be trying to get anything that we can. The good thing I figured out is the lower the level that spawns around you. So that's what we did to actually catch them. Because we didn't have any Pokemon that level to even fight them. We're gonna try to defeat Brock as to show you what we're doing, but we might not get there because this ended up being way more difficult than I realized. I thought he was just gonna have all the 30 stuff that he usually does, but he did not. He had I don't remember honestly, but he had a lot of stuff. It took us like 5-6 times to defeat him, and we defeat him in the beginning of the next episode. So don't forget to like and subscribe to remember to find that. Alright, our main thing is, I know it has a Vulpix, so we need to get something for that. We're gonna hatch another Totodile, and we're gonna try to catch anything. We get a Zigzagoon, we get a Bunnelby, anything that can fight it. We just try to capture anything. This our first time fighting Brock, but just to see how he was. I thought he only had those 2, but we needed to get something to stop this self-destruct. He immediately killed me like this, so we just had to get something. Our first one was a Zigzagoon, like usual. That being the main part, it would take the self-destruct, and let's see. I kept going at it, but I had to keep finding more and more Brocks. The more Brocks I found, the more I fought, the more I figured out how he fought. See, we got our other Totodile egg, we ran around for it. It was a lot of me just leveling them up. It was very boring, but we tried our best, and we continued to go on it. The closest we got is when we found him in a cave. We got to his Vulpix. We didn't have any Pokemon dead, So we try to do the sand attack method, which one problem is we have almost no moves, which we can go bat in different ways. It's a very boring fight. We have nothing to go against it. We just have to try our best to make sure they cannot hit us. And the luck does not go our way. They miss a couple times, but and it incinerates us, and we don't make it. But that helps us learn what to do. So first, we bring the Zigzagoon to get this Archon was a real pain. We can get one good hit on them, but that's about it. So we needed to find a way to stop him. Cause when he was here, I did not expect it. I did not expect the Vulpix cause because he is the rock type gem leader. So I don't know why he has a Vulpix, but that happened. That's a little sneak peek in the next episode. This is gonna have to be a part two, or this is gonna be around 3 hours long. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in a couple months. Hopefully just one.